Nagbabalik ang tropa. We missed you last Sunday. I'm sure you also missed us at we began implementing one Sunday break once a month, no? Kaya po start uli ng una sa tatlong sunod-sunod uling linggo. A blessed Sunday to everyone and welcome you all to
Usapang
Training
at
iba
iba
pa.
pa.
Yo.
Okay. Episode 22 na po. Simula nang inumpisahan natin to, start of the year. 22. Wow. At ang topic natin sa araw na to is how to use the 9-box grid in developing talents. No? Continuing our deep dive into the different areas of the talent development framework. No? Kasama namin kayo doon sa succession management, succession planning. Tapos doon sa coaching and mentoring. Yes. O ngayon naman, 9-box grid ang pag-usapan natin. Pero bago yan, of course, balitang PSTD muna. Pearl.
Hello, Louie. Hello, everybody. Siguro bago ako magbalitang basic, pakilala muna tayo isa't isa. So, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Nasa gitna tayo ng evening and afternoon. Pearl Martinez po. I'm the Global L&D Manager for SGS and Co. and currently chair of the membership committee. So, dahil membership committee, join na kayo sa PSTD. Of course, with me are my katropang trainers. June, would you like to be next?
Yeah, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Habang tayo ay nagluluto ba yung iba? Ako po si June Roy, past president po ng PSTD, kasalukuyang governance advisor, and also working as OD Consulting Head of Nomura Research Institute. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat, mga katropang trainers.
Ayan, ako naman.
Louie or Ed.
Magandang gabi po. Ako po si Edwin Ebreo, member ng PSTD Board of Trustees at CEO ng Execuserve. AM.
Hello, magandang gabi mga katropa. AM Villaluz, Learning Manager sa Vistaprint Manila and also currently serving as BOT Secretary sa PSTD.
At Louie Banta po ang host ninyo sa episode 22 na to, no? Absent kasi ako nung dalawang huling episode, no? Nakalimutan kong makilala. So 3 Sundays akong out. Now, Pearl, back to you for Balitang.
Okay, so Balitang PSTD na tayo. Sandali lang. Yan, okay. I hope you're seeing my screen.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so Balitang PSTD, medyo lean ang ating Balitang PSTD ngayon, no? Kasi very busy na ang ating secretariat for preparing for the National Convention. But we still have training scheduled this August 17 to 18, and we have Sandra Galang, diba? Talking about developing your organization's talent management competency map and talent capability. So, magandang mag-attend kayo nito dahil ito ay linked up sa lahat ng pinag-uusapan natin dito sa Usapang Training at iba pa. Also, if you are a member of the PSTD, you have access to our LXP, and we have a lot of topics and a lot of materials there that you can access for free. Ang dami-dami nito, di ba? Kita niyo lahat ng topics na to, na mga tools at saka mga frameworks na shinare ng ating mga members. And of course, if you are a member, and you should be a member, di ba? Dapat natanggap nyo na ang latest edition ng ating Breakthrough 2023, the 6th edition of the PSTD magazine. Yan, ang ganda-ganda niyan, ating ang online magazine. And you will see here the topics that are covered by the PSTD magazine. So, di ba dapat talagang mag-member kayo para meron kayo nito? Kasi paano ninyo makukuha ito kung hindi kayo member? So mag-member na. And if you have like children who are in college, di ba? Encourage nyo to join the junior PSTD. We are launching this. And if you have contacts in colleges, universities that would want to have JPSTD, such a long name. So JPSTD, tawagan nyo lang or kontakin nyo si Kevin Nera, isa sa ating mga masugid na members at masugid na nakikinig dito sa Usapang PSTD. Okay. And of course, dahil National Convention na, dapat ay sumali na kayo, magbayad na kayo at sumali sa National Convention natin sa September 20 to 22. And if you join, you have the opportunity to win. Hindi kayo magkakaroon ng etong robe na to na pang-karate or whatever. Mananalo kayo ng isang Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt Certification. Hindi ibig sabihin certified na kayo. Kailangan yung mag-attend, pero mananalo kayo ng libreng training on Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt for certification. Okay? And ito, napaka-interesting nito. If you are a mentor or you want to be a mentor or you want to be mentored, join the Philippine Society for Talent Development Mentoring Committee. Of course, this is only open to members of PSTD. So kung di kayo member, hindi kayo belong, di ba? Kaya kailangan mag-member na kayo para makasali kayo sa napaka-exciting na committee na ito, ang Mentoring Committee. We talked about this a few Sundays ago. So kung spark ang interest nyo sa mentoring, gusto nyong sumali, tumulong na i-create yung program policies and procedures doon sa ating mentoring committee at feeling nyo magaling naman kayong mentor, then join the mentoring committee. Okay? And I don't think I have anything else. Wait a minute. Stop sharing. That's it for Balitang PSTD.
So sobrang dami ba naman ng benefits ng pagiging member? Ewan ko na lang pag hindi pa kayo na-convince ni Pearl Martinez, no? Pinakamagandang panahon para humabol sa PSTD membership because of the discounted rates, yes, that you will enjoy in next month. Next month na po, ha? Ako ready na ako sa Bora. Yung katawan ko hindi pa ready in terms of appearance, no? Pero my mindset is ready to
mag-intermittent fasting na.
Biggest loser tayo.
Sana guys.
Sana humabol. Yan. So back to our episode 22. Episode 22 is focused on how to use the 9-box grid in developing talents. So, daming nag-register, 100 plus. I think nag 130, 150 tayo. But checking the room, we have 35 people in the Zoom room minus the hosts and our guest speaker. Around close to 30 people, no, came here today. I'm sure may mga hahabol pa po, no, in the next few.
And Louis, maidagdag ko lang at maisingit. Out of that 35, we are so blessed and honored to have with us the current president of PMAP, si Miss Beth Nasol. Siya rin po yung head ng HR ng Energy Development Corporation. Naku ma'am, napakamaraming salamat po sa inyong pagbisita at pag-attend sa amin.
Thank you so much po sa ating first time yata umattend ni
first time, oo, baka we can have few seconds or 30 seconds, less than 1 minute, pagbati lang kay Miss Beth. Moment ito di ba, Ma'am Beth?
Ayan na, nag-video on na.
Oo, naka-mute po kayo.
I don't think can we give yan. Can we give
Salamat
hello.
po.
Good evening to everybody. I am very much interested. I don't know if you can see me.
Yes.
We can see you.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. I am here to learn.
Yun.
To learn
So
about
that's
the
inspiring.
9
Yun pa lang. Thank you po. Sige, let's all learn together.
Alright,
Back
thank
to you, Louis.
dumadami yung ating mga guru, no? From HR and talent development na nag-a-appear sa ating usapang training. Yan. Ang guest po natin who will really talk about the 9-box grid is a certified leadership coach and global professional in human resources by HRCI-USA with an impressive track record of 20 plus years as a talent development leader. Our guest will unveil the secrets of the powerful 9-box grid and its role in identifying and nurturing potential leaders in our organization. Ang ating pong guest, Mr. Juan Paolo or JP Arao. JP, good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here.
Ayan,
Am I
JP,
audible?
we can hear you. If you can increase the audio. Sige nga.
Para mas malakas kanina, JP, nung wala kang
Headset?
headset.
Ayan, sige nga, subukan natin. Isa pa nga, JP.
Yeah.
Better. Yan.
Oo, better.
Better.
Better,
Mas
okay.
Maganda.
Ah.
Maganda yung walang microphone.
Ah,
Yan, no? So, JP, minention na natin yung title na 9-box, no? And I'm sure for the seasoned ones, no? For the veteran HR and talent development practitioners, 9-box is already part of either what you know or what you have implemented in organizations. But for those who might be joining our usapan this afternoon, this evening, na narinig o hindi pa naririnig ang 9-box, ano ba ang 9-box grid or model?
First of all, yung 9-box, before we fully understand its usage, siguro briefly lang, no, history lang, history. Let's go back dun sa past. Ang nag-originate to noong 1970 with GE McKinsey. I think most of you are familiar with this. The main objective of 9-box is to allocate, kasi during that time nagkakaroon ng multi-business yung bawat organization. Like any global organizations, may mga different business units. So they use the 9-box to GE commissioned McKinsey to identify which business unit ang mag-i-invest, ang i-hold, at yung i-exit. And part of the exit is laying off people. So in effect, noong 1970s, ginagamit ang 9-box to lay off people. Which business unit ang ile-let go nila? So, and yung y-axis nun is industry attractiveness, and then yung x-axis is yung competitiveness ng business unit. So, merong assessment yon, and then those that are on the upper, ngayon ang use kasi ng 9-box, yung upper right quadrant, yun yung talent pool eh. Pero originally, yung upper left, yun yung growth business unit. Yun yung mga business units na dapat invest and dapat i-keep. At yung nasa lower left, yun yung normally nililay off. Tapos
chuchuguin.
at yung
O isasara kung business unit, di ba?
Exactly. Tapos over the years, due to the innovativeness, creativity ng mga HR leaders, consultants, nag-evolve, nag-transform yung 9-box into more of a development tool. And it was revealed on my research. I published and presented a technical research on the 9-box potential and performance, which I'd like to share it later on. So nag-evolve siya over the years hanggang sa naging yung variables ng 9-box from the industry attractiveness to the competitiveness of a business unit, naging potential and performance na. No, so these are the two variables of the 9-box, which is widely used by global companies, large and multinational companies. Meron akong friend who works in a company sa Laguna. They are around 500 employees. Gumagamit na rin sila ng 9-box. But based on my experience, mostly companies who have more than 500 employees at merong succession planning, normally ginagamit itong 9 bucks. So to answer Louis' question, saan nga ba siya ginagamit? Normally to classify, no, to categorize, classify potential leaders. Yan, and to identify sino ang
Successors.
pwedeng yes, tama si Ma'am Pearl, who would be the potential successors on that. And nag-emerge din yan, meron ding emerging trends on creating talent pools, no? For each of the 9-box matrix, yung upper right quadrant, normally those are the areas wherein we create talent pools. So in as far as talent development is concerned, we create different talent pools from different levels of organization. And different levels of organization or leadership level has a different development program or development intervention. So yun ang brief nung 9 bucks. And then the issue there, siguro just to preempt, is that based on my research is that a lot in my previous organization when I was working in the Middle East, we spent millions of dollars to develop leaders as an output of the talent of the 9 bucks rating. And sadly, when we promote someone because of the 9 bucks rating, we somehow found out that some of the leaders that were promoted is not that competent and walang leadership aura or leadership charisma, or hindi siya competent as a leader. But so that triggered my research on to identify yung correlation. Is there a relationship between the potential and performance? And based on my research, there is no significant correlation. The correlation coefficient is less than 5%, and that's the reason why a lot of organizations spending millions of dollars still doing 9 bucks calibration.
Okay.
Because there is no correlation between the two variables. So yun ang aking experience in the 9 bucks.
Unang-una, interesting sa akin yung history, no? Yung it was originally used pala, no, not for individuals but for assessing business units, no? Kasi alam naman natin yung history ng GE, no? Alam mo naman si GE nung si Jack Welch ay pumasok diyan as CEO, one of his marching orders is to really make the organization lean because it has grown so big, no? So yung pala yung application nun. Sa kasi siya din yung nagpauso nung bell-shaped curve, di ba? Isa sa talaga nag-implement nung
yung rank and yank.
10%, di ba? Bottom 10%, okay, with the intention of really cleansing the organization and motivating everybody to perform. Now, JP, alam mo naman na AM magkasama tayo sa research conference pag may mga statistics na ganito mga mini-mention, no? Sobrang nai-excite ako. Less than 5% correlation daw, no, between performance and potential, no? So JP, when you say less than 5 or there's a low correlation, tama, no? Nakikita naman natin sa 9-box model yan. Not because you are performing highly doesn't mean that you have high potential. Correct? So that's actually supported by the low correlation that you found out in your study. Tama ba, JP?
Yes. The reason why it has low correlation is because one of the factors that most of the organizations are doing, and I think all of you here will agree, we tend to promote individuals because of his or current performance. But based on my research, current performance is not the best predictor of future performance. So you could be performing now as a superintendent, but you might not be performing as a department head. But most of the organization are promoting these individuals because of the current performance. And I remember, Louie, in one of your sessions, yung Peter principle, di ba? We promote someone up to the level of incompetence, no? So yun. So we found out that certain number of the leaders, and by the way, these are SVPs, no, in my research, senior vice presidents and up to VP, they were promoted because of their current performance. They did not do well at their current role. So it so happened na medyo supportive lang yung organization, na ano na sila, na develop over the years, but eventually they did not do well. Another issue is that the word potential, there is no standard definition of what is potential. There are a lot of definitions of potential. I used to work in one organization wherein we define potential as leadership potential. Meron naman akong organization which I've been part of, we define potential as those that have the level of competence. So iba't iba. So there's no standard definition of what is potential. And because of that, we might be assessing someone towards a leadership role using a yardstick which is not really a good predictor of
It could be subjective also, no?
Exactly. So highly subjective, and unless the organization really invest on a potential assessment. In my previous organization, we use yung Center for Creative Leadership, learning agility as our potential assessment. Meron naman akong in my previous organization, ang gamit namin yung OPQ 32 SHL. Meron namang iba, core
Ano yun? Ano yung maraming letters na yun, JP?
Yun. So ang dami, di ba? So iba't iba. So yun ang ano niya. Kaya nung kinorelate ko, hindi nagma-match kasi kung significantly meron silang relationship, if one variable goes up, the other variable should also go up. So yun, hindi siya correlated. There's no correlation, and that's why my recommendation during that one, during my presentation is to stop using potential and performance as a
JP,
variable.
before we move further, baka hindi lahat ng nakikinig sa atin ay alam yung 9 bucks. Siguro,
Yung itsura.
can you give them like a 2 minute?
Baka may isang slide dyan na email.
Isang slide na parang presentation on what
Sige,
really
meron ako
is
dito.
the 9 bucks.
Isang slide lang naman. Meron ako isang
Yeah,
slide.
isa lang, oo. Of course, sina Jerry, sina Miss Beth, sina Evie,
Oo.
alam na yan.
Very naman yan, well used. Pero baka lang may isa, dalawa, or ilang mga
Para ma-visualize
listeners
natin.
Yeah,
At
starting
saka
point.
pagka hinanap tayo sa Facebook, di ba, nung mga gustong malaman to, we want them to understand.
Can you see my...
Yeah, share
Yes.
screen lang. Share screen.
Full
Sige,
screen lang yan.
So for us to really understand how to use 9 bucks, kasi kung yung 9 bucks lang kaagad, mawawala tayo sa complete picture eh. So yung 9 bucks is part of a total talent management process, wherein the main objective is to classify, categorize potential leaders. So before we use the 9 bucks, the first step muna, quickly lang is to identify ano yung mga key and critical positions. And there's a criteria for this to identify. So it's a different topic, but quickly lang, in terms of business continuity, in terms of operational continuity, it doesn't necessarily mean that the position is a department head, a critical position na yon. No. Dapat pag nawala yung position na yon, stop ang operation. So once we identify that, then we will do the talent assessment. Dito na papasok yung 9 bucks. Okay, so yung upper right quadrant would be, we call talent pool, no? So these are okay, let me just ito. So yung y-axis is the potential, okay? So ito yung high, mid, and low. Okay? So yung potential merong high, mid, and low. At yung performance, x-axis, ganun din. Merong high, mid, and low. Okay? So based on my experience, the best way to manage the 9 bucks is to put, sa akin lang, personal lang to, and also based on my experience, yung potential, we call it A. Okay, A. Tapos yung performance, A, B, C, high, mid, low, para madali. Tapos yung performance, yung pinakamababa is 3. So highest is 1. 1, 2, 3. So yung upper natin, yung high potential and high performance, A1. Kasi nga A tapos 1. Yan. So dito yan. Normally we get ready now leaders from this box. Again, for you to classify employees, dapat meron kang potential assessment. Ito yung mahirap. Kaya not all organization has the capability to institutionalize 9 bucks. It's a good tool to classify and categorize potential leaders, pero costly. Kasi una, kung wala kang budget, then you have to develop internal tool. Now, the question here is that how valid and reliable yung tool, if you will develop it internally. So yan, potential. And then yung performance, sabi ni Edwin, madali na lang to. Ito yung annual performance rating natin. Then ipaplat yan. So those that falls here, yung C3, low potential and low performance in this box, yung lower right, ito yung area wherein if need to rationalize, dito kami kumukuha. Dito sa C3. Low potential and low performance. If you are promoted, okay, because of your current performance, okay, and because of the potential rating, normally dito ka mafo-fall, A3. You have high potential but low performance. Why? Because you are not yet performing at your current role, di ba? Wala ka pang you are performing, okay? You are performing as a superintendent, and therefore na-promote ka as a department head. So on the next talent review, yung performance mo would be here, because you're not yet performing. So A3 ka. You have high potential, either A3 ka or A2. High potential but low performance, or high potential but mid performance. Yan. So normally dito yan sa dalawa na yan kung recently promoted ka. Kung konti naman yung tao dito kami kumukuha sa B2, mid potential and mid performance. So the aim is to push people from this box, from B1 papunta dito sa A2 to A1. And how do we do that? Through development. So yan, so through succession planning, pipili kami dito. We normally choose talents here to do the succession planning and then the development. Now, how do we do the development? And most of you are also familiar here, yung 70-20-10 development model. Yan. So the aim is to produce more ready now. So how do we do that? Through the 70-20-10 development model, 70% experiential, 20% coaching and mentoring, and 10% formal training. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung talent pools. I don't know if any one of you are using this. In my previous organization, we have different talent pools from different levels of organization. Those that are earmarked or identified as a potential supervisor or potential superintendents, we branded it, we called it the emergers. Emergers. So ang development program niyan, situational leadership, So these are pool, And again, galing to sa 9 bucks. These are potential supervisors. So ang foundational development program ito, situational leadership. Then yung next pool namin is energizers. And the energizers, these are potential department heads or potential department managers. So anyone that were identified through the 9 bucks assessment, as a potential department head will fall on the talent pool called energizers. No? And the development intervention is inspirational leadership. And then lastly, SVP, VP up to CEO, the executives. Yan. Ang foundational development program yan is strategic leadership. So ito we branded it because we want to convey the message, and we want to inspire the organization. Kaya meron siyang different talent pool programs. And the good thing here is that and then naging talk of the talk of the town within the organization. Saan ka anong development program mo? Ako sa energizers. Ikaw saan ka? Sa emergers. So ito naman sa executives. So it create an atmosphere of a good development program. So yan, ito yung visual representation ng 9-box and how the 9-box is being utilized to create various development programs.
June,
I
Yun
like
yata
the
may tanong.
term.
Yeah.
I like the term ng talent pools
Yeah.
niyo.
Jun,
I
may
have a
tanong ka.
question. Mayroon. But first of all, thank you, for parang in one slide, in few minutes, parang naging crash course on the, succession management. So this is really nice. Yung question talaga, it's really on the potential. Kasi in performance, you have the historical data, di ba?
Yeah.
So as you said, yung potential, it would be difficult for companies who may not have the budget to invest, no? So there are two questions, yung isa galing kay Jeff T. Pero yung bago yung kay Jeff T, it's yung sa akin. Ano ba yung, before we ask kung ano yung mga possible tests or ways to assess potential, ano ba muna yung mga criteria na dapat nating tignan to assess the potential? Kasi we were comparing prior to this, kami ni Pearl, in my previous company before, dalawa lang sa ProLife UK at the time of 2005, capability and aspiration. But of course, yung capability, yung aspiration, it's more on interview method, no? Pero yung capability, yeah, we have a formal assessment kasi global yon eh. Pero dalawa lang yon, yung iba tatlo, may apat. So in your experience, what are these common criteria na dapat nating titignan at ito yung i-assess later on?
Okay, that's a very good question, pero there's no right or wrong answer. Because again, I've been into an organization wherein we use potential assessment. Ang tool na ginagamit namin is leadership style. So the organization already identified yung gusto nilang leadership style. And if nagmatch ka dun sa leadership style na yon, you will be automatically classified as high potential. So that's the way how the organization identified potential. Meron naman akong organization that I've worked with when I was in Dubai. We anchored yung potential doon sa CCL, Center for Creative Leadership, yung learning agility. I can also share to you now learning agility. After this, i-share ko. So in-assess naman namin doon. So if you have a high score in learning agility, and we did a scoring, then you will have a high potential because of the assessment from the learning agility model. Meron naman akong organization in-house. We created a potential assessment aligned sa core values.
Core values.
So ano yung ano kaya yung most common na pwedeng like if a company doesn't have
as a guide,
program yet at gagamitin nila yung 9-box, what would be a most common way of measuring potential?
In short, what would be your advice na titignan namin?
Okay, first is that you need to define first what is potential. Kasi kailangan magkaroon kayo ng North Star eh. How does the organization define potential? Is potential defined yung acceptable definition is potential are those employees that have leadership potential, yung kayang mag-lead. Okay. So kung yun ang definition, then dapat yung potential assessment is geared towards capability to lead. If is your definition of potential is capability to accept more roles, either horizontally or vertically. Kung yun naman din, ibang tool naman din ang gagamitin. So first step is to first identify ano yung definition ng organization ng potential. So kung ang definition is those that are capable to lead, yun ang definition namin ng potential. If meron kang potential to lead, then you are, and yun ang definition namin ng potential, then yung tool should be assessing that. Pero kung ang definition naman ng potential dun sa organization is capability to accept more roles, either horizontally or vertically, then different tool. Again, so it all depends dun sa organization.
So based on that, kung meron kang capability framework, I'm trying to imagine what you were saying, JP, no? So kung meron kang capability framework or competency framework that describes the required competencies at higher levels, no? In terms of leadership and other types of competencies, that can be used as a basis for potential. Tama ba?
Yes, but which part of the competencies? Kasi merong core leadership and technical competencies. Will you only be assessing technical? But of course, we
Siyempre hindi, no?
Yeah, so and then dun sa management model, 'di ba? As you go up to the position, less of a technical, more of a leadership. And yeah, so and the 9 box is widely used to identify leaders. To categorize.
So mostly leadership capabilities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'd like to validate that and affirm that, no? Kasi may mga organizations din na ang basic question nila first is to define the competency of the leaders of the future, right? Ito yung
Hindi lang yung present.
hindi lang yung present, because ibinabangga nila yon doon sa 5-year to 10-year strategic directions nila. So what kind of leaders do we need to take us forward, right? And so therefore, yung kanilang definition of potential are those kind of leadership competencies. Kasi yung iba nakababa na doon sa performance eh. Yung potential, ito yung mga new set of skills. So tama ba na when you say leadership skills, pwede ring ibangga doon sa strategic requirements ng business?
Yes, yeah. Yes.
Kaya I think usually, no, kahit na ang dami mong leadership competencies, but usually when you assess potential, hindi yung full leadership competencies mo ginagamit mo. Like, for example, before sa isang organization that I used to be with, ang dami naming leadership competency, around 9 or 10. But when we look at potential, we only look at three characteristics or 3 criteria, di ba? Meron lang kami yung critical thinking, yung part din is performance, di ba? Tapos pati doon yung aspiration na hindi naman kasama sa leadership competencies namin. But aspiration, ginagamit namin.
Kasi yung gusto mo malaman kung gusto maging leader.
Oo, kasi may mga tao, ang taas ng potential, di ba? Ay, ang taas ng performance. Pero pag sabi mo, maging ka naman, supervisor, ayoko niyan, ayoko ma-promote. So, tinitingnan yung aspiration, which is not part of our leadership competencies.
Yeah.
Pwede na ba tayong magbasa ng questions, no?
Yeah, yung kay Jeff T, maganda yung question ni Jeff T.
Oo, no. Well,
can we use a battery of psychological tests to measure potential, such as leadership open questionnaire, critical thinking appraisal, intelligence tests?
Yes, that's actually yun ang in my research, one of the recommendations is to administer evidence-based potential assessment. So more than the variables, dapat yung variables na ginagamit sa 9-box, dapat evidence-based. So yung potential assessment, yes, psychometric. Kaso the issue here is napakamahal, costly. Siguro kung and I think most of you will agree, no, napakamahal. One assessment 5,000, 10,000 pesos. So kung ilan yung nasa talent pool mo, ilan yung i-assess mo doon. Remember, when you conduct a potential assessment, parang funnel yan, di ba? From the 1,000 employees, liliit yan. So from the 1,000, mag-set ka ng criteria. Dapat merong minimum 2 years, dapat yung performance rating dapat nasa 3 or mid performance, tapos dapat walang disciplinary issues. Then hanggang sa lumiit yan, magkakandak ng potential assessments from 1,000, siguro nasa mga 30%. So 300 times mo sa 10,000 pesos. 5,000. Yun ang cost.
Ouch.
Baka kailangan paliitin pa yung
Talent pool.
Panel pa more.
Okay. Here's the question.
Yung validity sa reliability ng potential assessment, magiging valid siya. It will detect future requirement, pero costly lang, money.
Paano kung walang budget? Or yung budget nila nakaset aside sa iba't ibang L&D or talent development priorities, nagkataon, ubus na, wala nang ma-set aside para doon sa Is there a practical alternative na yung result, it might not be as highly reliable and valid, pero at least it gets them going na, no? It can set the momentum.
There is, you need to hire a psychometrician and a psychologist. Yan. So yun, mas mas cost effective.
To develop the instrument.
Yes. Kasi it has to be validated. And then meron pang meron pang validity score, reliability score. So yung yung output nung instrument, it can be used not only for that organization, pwede rin nilang ibenta na rin yun. So yun.
I-productize na.
Maganda doon, customized, di ba, yung
yes.
makakamura ka na, mas tailor fit pa, no?
And if I may share my opinion, it can be quite an investment to identify the right talents for future important responsibility in the company. Pero ang mahal din ng wrong promotion eh.
Yes.
Yun,
Yeah.
100%.
Wrong placement of a leader in a critical or strategic position, magastos yun.
Magastos literally, especially kung wrong decision, sumabog yung planta. And it happened in the oil and gas industry because of a wrong decision was made by a leader. So and it cost billions of dollars. And that leader was promoted because of the 9-box.
Ouch.
Kaya ako pinusyo research na yon. Because I want to squash the potential and performance as 2 variables. Yung 9-box okay ako doon. Palitan lang yung potential and performance because these two has no correlation at all.
So in short, just because you're using 9-box doesn't mean makukuha mo yung tama. You have to do it. You have to use it correctly.
Yes.
And yung output should be valid,
So
Yeah,
you mentioned JP that you would like to parang veer away from potential and performance. So based on your research nga, ano yung gagamitin?
Okay. I was waiting for that question.
Ayan!
I was waiting for that, kaya ako siya sinabi. Based on my research, di ba nga kailangan evidence-based, dapat based on empirical research. Ang emerging trend, meron nang gumagamit ngayon sa Middle East. Ang emerging trend is 9-box EQ and IQ.
9-box EQ and IQ. Wow.
We all know that successful leaders tend to have high emotional intelligence. Ano na yan?
Yeah.
Science na yan. Those that are leadership effectiveness tend to meron ng correlation yan sa sa high emotional intelligence. So given na yan. So that's the first variable. Second variable is there is also a research right now that successful leader, yung leadership effectiveness is correlated sa IQ. However, not as high as 100, if my memory serves me right, 115. Kasi if it goes above 115, bumababa ang leadership effectiveness ng leader.
Pero JP, may ano lang ako dyan sa paggamit ng IQ because as research has shown, when you get to when people enter a company, magkakaiba yung IQ. Pero when you reach a certain leadership level, halos nagpa-plateau yan eh. Parang halos pare-parehas na kayo ng IQ. Kaya nga 'di ba, we are promoting using EQ instead of IQ kasi nga mag-iiba na yan based on the EQ. Yun yung research ni Daniel Goleman eh, na it becomes almost negligible yung differences between people pagka nilagay mo yung factor na IQ.
Based dun sa research na na kinandak sa Australia, the leader need to get yung average score nung IQ nung kanyang team members. Tapos dapat above siya doon to ensure leadership effectiveness. So yun, and IQ is highly correlated with problem solving skills. And leaders tend to solve a lot of problems in a day-to-day basis. So kaya ang and these two, evidence-based, dalawa lang naman ang criteria sa variable. Dapat evidence-based and merong empirical research.
Okay. Naalala ko tuloy yung ating interview with Bobby Galvez doon sa succession management, Louie, kung naalala mo. Na yung yung part na yon na dapat magaling. Matalino yung successor. So importante yung both EQ and IQ, no? And those are things that you can actually measure, no?
Pero yung IQ again, IQ not so high kasi dun sa research nung lumagpas na ng 115, yung leadership effectiveness ng leader bumaba. Kasi bakit? Yung mga team members niya cannot deal anymore with that leader. Mataas na yung IQ.
So there's a desirable range.
Meron lang siya desire. So kung ipa-plot mo siya sa 9 box, yung high IQ, meron lang siyang range.
So JP, not more than 115.
Yeah, if my memory serves me right, ayun na, basta within that range, 110 to 115.
So bawal genius.
In terms of principle, leaders need a minimum level of intelligence to function. But tama alam mo, supportive din naman to ng mga studies on EQ leaders who are super brilliant or too brilliant in a technical field, it becomes a barrier to
di makarelate yung mga tao.
Yes,
correct. Communication, empathy as well. Okay. May mga tanong pa tayo dito sa
Kay Jerry, may ganda yung tanong ni Jerry.
I like that question.
Could one reason for the lack of correlation between performance and potential be an unreliable PMS because it is directly attached to rewards? That is why high-performing individuals is not a guarantee for future success. Do you have any method for ensuring that your performance data is indeed reliable? Tapos yung pangalawa, para pag-isipan mo na lang, JP, can a small company start with 4 box? Oo nga naman, kasi yung 9 box, 3x3 matrix, considering that the 9 box came from a large organization. So pwede bang small company 4 box? Yung una muna, unreliable PMS. Do you have any method for ensuring that your performance data is indeed reliable?
Okay. Again, as we speak right now, there is no bulletproof performance management evaluation. There will always be a shadow of subjectivity. So the aim is to lessen yung objectivity. So walang bulletproof, talagang meron yang subjective part. Now, how do we lessen yung subjectivity niya? A lot of organizations are doing performance normalization process. So we normalize those that are abnormal. So if and we also correlate the employee performance through the business performance curve. So at the organizational level, we have a bell curve which is not force ranking, but a bell curve from 1 to 5 based on the productivity of the organization. Now, the bell curve, the business performance curve must be aligned with the employee performance curve. Now, if for example, one business unit did not achieve its target, okay? And when you plot and you extracted all the performance scores of that business unit, and then you will see, and you plot it sa bell curve, majority skewed to the right. Ibig sabihin 60% nag-perform. Okay? But that business unit, ang taas ng HSE issues, ang taas ng customer complaints, hindi nag-perform. Ang target $100 million, ang na-achieve lang 50 million, 50%. And yet, yung yung employee performance curve naka-skewed sa right. Ibig sabihin 60 to 70% performed. So merong ano, 'di ba? So how do we ensure fairness? Gaya na sabi ni Jerry, through performance normalization. So we calibrate the performance rating to ensure that it is reflective of the business unit performance. And the issue here of in terms of the whole performance management, yung concept na garbage in, garbage out. If you set Mickey Mouse objectives, you will get an over yung performance rating na hindi accurate. Now, Mickey Mouse objectives, those are easy to achieve objective. We call it Mickey Mouse objectives, no, or Mickey Mouse goals. So easy to achieve. And then goals that are not stretching, no, KPIs, KRAs, targets that are not stretching. So definitely talagang mag-skewed sa right yan. Everyone will be performing well. So that's why it's very important to ensure fairness and subjectivity. Dapat merong performance normalization process.
May follow up.
Actually may naisip ako dun sa tanong ni Gary. Kasi merong di ba? Merong high potential tapos low performance. So in short, yung performance management system nagsasabi ng totoo. Kasi baka stuck in mediocrity yung tao kasi nandoon siya sa position na does not bring out the best in that person. Classic example ko nito when I talk about it in training is si Freddie Roach was an average boxer.
Yeah.
Okay, average, mediocre pala at worst, average at best, ano. Pero magaling siyang coach, di ba? Mahusay na coach, and that because those are two different skill sets. I think there are a lot of examples also in other sports where the coaches were average players, pero nung naging coach sila, yun talaga yung kanilang true potential eh. And I've seen that in organization as well na hindi nare-recognize yung leadership potential ng tao kasi hindi maganda yung kanyang performance, ano. Yun yung is that a potential pitfall as well for 9bucks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
remember yung question ko, Edwin? I think it relates to my question on role misfit eh. Baka kasi nagna-9bucks ka pero tas lumalabas role misfit pala. Pero
Kaya
pag
low
may 9bucks mo, pag may 9bucks mo siya for another role, di ba? Magsha-shine siya.
Yes. Yun. Actually, tama si Edwin. Those that are classified as high potential and low performance, misfit yung So, ang ginagawa namin doon, pag yung talent o yung employee, nandun sa box na yon, we conduct career aspiration assessment or career interest assessment. Kasi baka nga, that employee is not at nasa wrong job, no, nasa wrong or baka merong issue sa kanyang
baka nasasayang siya doon sa trabaho niya ngayon, di ba?
I hope I answered Sir Jerry's question.
Yung isang question 9 bucks to 4 bucks, no? Ano tingin mo doon, JP?
Yung 4 bucks, I think ito yung skills. I think ito yung skill matrix, skill wheel matrix, yung 4 box. I have not yet seen yung 9 box, yung 4 box. I'm not so sure whether it would be possible. Baka we can look at what I have seen. One company in Singapore, 14 bucks.
14
Wow.
bucks.
Grabe.
Oo, Singapore, merong 14 bucks. Kasi
Meron.
hindi dinagdagan nila ng isa pang variable. Yung variable na nilagay nila is yung career aspiration. So tatlo yung variables, potential, performance, and career aspiration. So medyo noisy lang sa akin kasi nga 14 bucks. Pero
I had a boss before, yung previous boss ko. He was one of the consultants of Aon. And nung present ko sa kanya kasi yung succession planning process ko, syempre nandun yung 9 bucks. Sabi niya, veer away from the 9 bucks for now. So sabi niya, wag mo munang isama because it will get confusing. Sabi niya, i-limit mo nga lang. Tiningnan niya, sabi niya, mag 4 bucks ka muna. Sabi niya, kasi masyadong complicated yung 9 bucks para yung initial salvo mo ng succession planning will include a 9 bucks. So meron talagang iba-ibang boxes.
Meron. Wala yan sa lolo ko sa ProLife UK when we started. 16 bucks. I'm not joking. 16 bucks.
okay, meron,
Yeah.
di ba?
And
Kaya
then
hindi
we
siya
reduce it to
standardized
9. We reduce it to 9.
So the
It's
more
not
people in the
standardized.
organization, or perhaps the more cells, to discriminate the level of
Yeah.
performance and potential.
Siguro, JP, parang last question kasi few minutes na lang. In terms of your research and your experience in implementing 9 bucks, what lessons about 9 bucks have you learned? Diba? Alam ko, isa nga doon na baka it doesn't work that way, diba? And then, if people are going to implement, kasi mahirap naman na gamitin nila yung IQ nga EQ at the beginning kasi hindi pa nga nila nabasa yung buong research on this and hindi pa sila sanay, baka masanay sila sa 9 bucks. What are some of the tips, diba, in implementing a 9 bucks, and what are some of the do's and don'ts, and ano din naman yung strength of using this? And siguro I'll also add, just as a reminder, what can you give our audience as a reminder? Kasi some people would think, mag 9 bucks tayo, yan, tapos na yan. Diba? But they don't know that it's part of a long process in terms of development. So, ang dami kong questions, in 4 minutes, kailangan sagutin mo yun.
Oo. Siguro ang first thing is that dapat mabenta muna sa leadership. If you will be using 9 bucks, first you need to get the buy-in of the leaders because they will be the one investing on this. So that's number one. Number two, the HR who will be implementing this should also have the technical know-how to do this. Kasi when you cascade this to the organization, a lot of the leaders will also ask, why are we doing this? This is time consuming, And third, siguro yung change management strategy or program. There has to be a strong change management strategy when you implement 9 bucks. So those are the things that needs to be in place before implementing 9 bucks. And then and once those things are considered, siguro try to if there is a budget constraint, ang suggestion ko is to do it internally, through the core values na lang muna. So that the potential assessment is aligned with the core values of the organization. Just make sure that the tool that you are using is validated, at least by a licensed person, for you to do the potential assessment. Kasi yung performance andyan na yan, you can easily extract yun. And then also siguro another thing here is that yung paggamit nung 9 bucks sa succession planning. because 9 bucks is always, part and parcel of the whole succession planning, talent management and succession planning program. So you also need to have a very strong succession planning governance. Kasi kung wala kang strong succession planning governance, masasayang yung 9 bucks. So yun yung based on my experience. The aim really is to identify potential leaders. So yun. So a tool that can identify, classify potential leaders. So if you can do that by having a cost-effective potential assessment tool, then by all means you can do that. If there is a budget constraint, aligned it with the core values. Again, based on my experience.
Marami pa po tayong questions at comments sa chat, no? So you can just go through that on your own. And we still have 50 people in the room, ha? Hanggang kahit na alas 7 na, no? At while most of us are familiar with 9 bucks, no? We took a deep dive. Nireview tayo ng ating guest ng two dimensions ng 9 bucks, including the history that it was previously used, no, to determine the fate of business units. And now, the intriguing suggestion and recommendation based on the lack of correlation of the two variables of performance and potential, the recommendation that we revisit the two and maybe use IQ and EQ. Ba? Alam niyo, usapang tools, kung usapang tools lang, alam naman natin tools are helpful, but tools can also be misused and abused, yes, and incorrectly used. No? So, ingat sa paggamit ng tools. There's no perfect tool, yes. And let's continue networking with fellow HR and talent development professionals on how we can sharpen the use of our tools in our respective organizations. Can we request a copy of the recording? Si Paul Arao, I believe available naman ito sa ating Facebook page, di ba?
YouTube channel.
Yes, and uploaded to
channel.
YouTube.
Nasa
follow.
naka-upload din sa ating YouTube channel. Hanapin po ang Usapang Training at iba pa.
And like and subscribe our YouTube channel.
Sabi ng ating PIMA President, si Beth Nasol, kudos to PSTD, very insightful discussion. Thank you for sharing your insights today, Mr. Juan Paolo JP Arao. JP, thank you so much for being with us in this episode 2022. To those who would like to submit tools for uploading in our LXP, please let us know. Shout out naman ni PSTD Prexy Irene Isleta. Rayo souvenir photo, the customary souvenir photo. Still 49 people in the room. If you can open your cameras, yes, parang this is the new attendance check, di ba?